Hello everybody, this is DeanoGTO and that is freaking out again. Okay, so let's fix it. If you didn't see that there, the server reticle was just freaking out. It was like flashing all the colors of the reticle can go for some bizarre reason. I'm not sure. Also I've just noticed, why is that red? So not should that not be blue? Huh. Never noticed, this is still red even though it's supposed to be blue like all the stuff. Weird. Ah well. So this is the Batch Italian 25T AP. I'm just gonna call it the Bat Tap from now on because saying that other name every single time is going to be extremely annoying. So screw that. So tier 7 Czechoslovakian medium. That was unlucky. I just clipped the column, and now that guy's dead. And here is the tier 7 French light tank. Yeah, this thing's pretty damn devastating. And I'm pretty confident if I had tried to do that in the 5120, first of all, I probably wouldn't have been in that position fast enough. The 5120, it may have the same top speed, but in terms of part to weight ratio, doesn't come close. Part to weight ratio in the 5120, from what I remember, is pretty damn bad. It's kind of slow even for a French. For a French vehicle, it's very slow in comparison to a lot of the others. Like the 50B, I believe is much faster. Same with the 5100. So yeah. No, just waiting on the reload finishing. Gonna try and put a shot into this guy. I missed somehow, but yeah, that's why you have to be very, very close in these vehicles in order to fire on the move. Trying to fire on the move at range is just a bad idea, and that was okay. Just tracking that guy so he can't shoot me anymore. Stock Conquer is a bit of a joke, but still not something you want to get shot at by in a French vehicle. French vehicles are all about maintaining your health pool and saving it so you can trade your clip for maybe one or two shots later in the game. So that's basically what they're built to do. Take as little shots as you can in the beginning of the game, and you can take a bunch of shots near the end of the game, and you can wipe out a bunch of tanks by doing that. Providing you're not trading with like an American autoloader or something, because then you'll get your ass kicked. Unless you're doing it at range, in which case you've okay chance, because American autoloaders are crap at range. And here is my favorite thing I do in this game. I poke out and there's like 6 enemy tanks, and that was unbelievably lucky. I bounced a shot from a WZ-111, then I pull forward. See, here's the thing. With autoloaders, most people assume you're going to run away. If you start running away, and if you start moving away from them in an autoloader, most people assume you're just running away to reload. Not always the case. So you need to be kind of cautious about that kind of stuff, because it's very, very easy to think, oh yeah, they're not going to come back. And then they just poke around the corner again and start nuking you. So, yeah. I went from 2 kills to 5 kills there in, how long was that? Like 30 seconds maybe? First of all, I don't think I could have done that in the 5120. 5120 is too slow. And 5120 does not have the amount of shots this thing has. Sure, you could argue that I could use the 100mm in the 5120, but it still doesn't have the speed. It may have more gun depression, but it doesn't have the speed. Part to weight ratio really is kind of crap on the 5120. It is a lot more versatile now that they've buffed the gun depression, but it's still nowhere near as versatile as a vehicle like this, which can just motor around the map. Like, it's unheard of speed for a 5120, because it can really only do its speed from time to time, not very often. And the T-5041, you could try to compare it to the Bat-Tap, but it's not really a comparable machine. It's more comparable to the 5120 than it is to this. And that was just bad driving by me. Lewis on no health. I can take a hit from him easily. Kill him off. On 6 kills. Top gun. 4,400 damage. And that's the end of the game. And as always, there's somebody called Erwin Rommel in the game, and he was in the VK4502. There's always someone. You never... You're practically guaranteed to see somebody called Rommel or something every day. If you play more than 10 games a day, you're going to see somebody with that name. I'm just telling you that right now. But yeah, Very cool machine, very quick. Plays very like a light tank. I'm kind of curious to see what the French tier 10, tier 9, and tier 8 light tanks play like because, well, this vehicle here basically already plays like a light tank, so I'm kind of curious to know what they do with French light tanks overall because of that. Like my original assumption for French was that they were just going to make the Batchat and the on this light tanks, but nope, they're actually introducing the MX-13-105, which is a vehicle I never thought they would introduce. It's going to have a 3-shot autoloader, 390 output per shot, and that's going to be a tier 10. And that looks like it would be probably pretty damn devastating to a lot of people. Like that thing there, which just absolutely blitz people. And I think it's getting a better engine power. It's still going to have the worst part of weight ratio, but it might have the best. Like that's just a general like theme with French vehicles, French lights in particular. Or no, mainly French lights. They seem to typically have worse part of weight ratios than their competitors, but they make up for it in terms of ground resistances and just overall maneuverability. Like, oh, and the main reason why the M41 Walker Bulldog is so much faster than the French equivalent, the 1375, is because the 1375, unlike the M41, can actually take a couple of hits. The M41, if it gets hit at all, it will lose modules, and the modules it loses are typically pretty important. Like that thing got ammo wrecked by every time you got hit, from my experience, by a gun that was bigger than 120, 122, you would almost always get ammo wrecked. And when I say ammo wrecked, I mean turret blown off your hull. Like, so you really need safe stowage on that vehicle, because it just cannot take hits for shit. If you get hit by that in that thing, yeah, it's probably going to take out like 4 modules in your tank. It's just, it's painful. It's genuinely painful vehicle to drive. But actually saying that, this thing here can also suffer to that kind of thing as well. You need to avoid taking hits, not only to conserve your health, but also to conserve your modules, because you can lose a lot of modules very quickly if you're careless in this vehicle. You need to be careful because it is a much, well, I say much bigger, it is a bigger machine than 1390. It's about as fast, and view range wise it's about the same, but it doesn't have the same camo factor on the move as the 1390 does. So yeah, you need to be kind of cautious about the way you move around the battlefield in this thing, because if you get caught out in the open, you're going to die very quickly, because you don't have any armor to survive any hits, and everything that hits you is going to pain, because it's just not, it's basically made out of tinfoil. So yeah, I think that's about everything I have to really say about this here in the battle part of it. So let's go into the stats. So this game was my first ever race tanker in this vehicle. I had no expectation of that at all. I was completely expecting this to be like a second class or something. I wasn't really expecting much from this game. So that was a pleasant surprise, along with a high caliber and a tap gun. Always nice to get. 4,432 damage done, 6 kills, 1,300 base XP, which is pretty damn nice. I'm pretty proud of that result actually, because typically I don't do that well in this machine. If I'm totally honest, I'm kind of unreliable when it comes to this sort of machine. I'm not the greatest player in this kind of vehicle, so yeah. It took me a while to really get like a feel for how to play this thing after playing the Lorraine 40T. I suspect if I had just went straight into this instead of having played the Lorraine 40T before it, I suspect I would probably be a lot more receptive to how to play it. But I kept trying to play it like I played the 40T, trying to use certain positions like using gun depression and stuff. But you really can't do that. You really do need to play it more like a 1390. So I went back and started playing the 1390 a lot, and then jumped straight into this here after it, and I just played it like 1390, and it does actually work. So after getting used to it, I just have to say I think this is overall the better vehicle. It's fast, it's got a good reload, it's got really small size, and the size is probably the biggest buff that this thing could have possibly gotten over the Lorraine 40T. That thing's size was its main downfall. It was huge, massive tank, and it just got hit by everything. Everything that aimed at it would probably hit, because it's, well, a giant ass tank, and it was practically impossible to avoid any of the shots. The only real way to avoid shots was to use the gun depression, and that's why I struggled so much with this thing for a while, because I was trying to use the gun depression, which this thing just doesn't have. So yeah, for most people these days now, it would probably be considered a much, much, much better machine. But overall, uh, after getting used to it, I think it's yeah, I definitely think it's a better machine overall than the Lorraine. So yeah, I think that's about all I have to say. So if you liked the video, like and subscribe. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike. And subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of content. And thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.